Chief Aurora Chaser, Tom Kurz. Tom, it's great to see you. Is it me, or have we had a lot of northern lights over the UK this year?
It's not just you, Matt. We have had a lot of northern lights. We're in a very special period for northern lights chasers like me, because every 11 years or so, the sun reaches a peak level of activity, and it's the sun that is responsible for these displays of the northern lights. So as the sun reaches this peak level activity, we can expect a much greater frequency of these powerful events, which actually bring the northern lights visible to us in the UK and give us a glimpse of what we would normally only see in the Arctic.
Now, I am excited about this, and I've been excited every time this has happened this year, and I still haven't seen them. I mean, I live near the Channel, so I live quite a long way south. Where can people see them? Because it looks like it's going to be mostly a clear night for a lot of us tonight.
Yeah, the weather is smiling on us tonight. So we're expecting potentially what we call a geomagnetic storm tonight. Now, if that does occur and it is observed, the forecast suggests it will be what we consider to be a more mild geomagnetic storm. But that doesn't necessarily give us a precise indication of where auroras may be visible. So my advice is always to try your luck. The best thing you can do to increase your chances is to go out somewhere nice and dark. Obviously, make sure where you go is safe as well, but preferably with a good, clear northern horizon. So if you live in a town or a city, don't go south, because then you'll be looking over all of the light pollution of your own town and city. That's going to make it harder for you. Try to go north, somewhere where you've got a nice northern rural area, perhaps even a north coast if you're lucky enough to live near one. And, you know, if you live up in Scotland or in the north of England or perhaps the north of Wales, then you do stand a better chance than those of us here in the south. I'm in London myself, so it would require extraordinary conditions. But if you can get out somewhere nice and dark, away from the city lights, and make sure you've got a clear northern horizon, bring your camera with you as well, then there's every chance you might be able to capture some unusual colour in the sky, if not see it with your own eyes.
Do the different colours tell us anything? Do they represent different things? I mean, why are there different greens and pinks and purples and things?
Now, when I was a kid, the coolest thing you could own was a plasma ball. And nowadays, a plasma ball is 10 a penny and it runs off USB. But I always wanted to have one. The Northern Lights actually works in the same way as a plasma ball. So there are gases inside the ball. And when an electric current goes through the gases, the gas atoms, they absorb energy from that electric current, and then they release that energy as light. So the gas atoms and sometimes the molecules in our own atmosphere above our heads, they absorb electric energy from currents that are produced by the sun and also by the Earth's magnetic field. So they're given energy and then they release it as light. And the different atoms give us different colors. The most prominent color you see in all the beautiful pictures and commonly to your eye is green, and that's released by atomic oxygen. But at higher altitudes, that same atomic oxygen actually releases red light. So those are really prominent colors. Once you get really far down in the curtain, closer to the surface of the Earth, if the auroras are very bright, you can get flashes of pink light. And that pink light is actually produced by nitrogen gas rather than oxygen gas. So it's those two predominant gases in our atmosphere that can give us a range of colors. And when those colors mix together, it can produce a really beautiful, vari-colored impression to our eyes and to our cameras.
Tom, look, I don't think it's ever not fascinating. I'm really interested in talking about this, even though I have never seen them, and maybe tonight will be the night. You're an aurora chaser, and I know you do that with tourists, and you do it in the Arctic Circle. Are you sort of thrilled to see the Northern Lights as you ever were?
Yeah, I get asked this all the time, and my answer is always the same, which is that seeing the Northern Lights every time, it feels like the first time, at least for me. And I've had a chance now, hundreds of sightings of auroras in my time as an aurora chaser. It always feels the same, and I think that's because, unlike almost everything else we see in the sky, and perhaps even in the natural world, the Northern Lights has this kind of unique promise to it, which is that you don't really know what it's going to be like. You don't know if this night is going to be the best night of your life. You only know that you don't want to miss it. And what you see will be completely unique. It will be unlike anything that other people are seeing or anything that you have seen previously in your life, whatever happens. So it always feels fresh, it always feels new, it always feels exciting to me. And as you say, because I get to spend time doing it with other people, I really like to see their reactions, particularly if it's the first time, because they can be so emotionally taken by what they're seeing, and seeing people's lives transformed in front of you is always really fulfilling.
Look, final question, Tom. If for some reason I do not see them tonight, and I am on Sky News tomorrow, so I have to have an early bedtime, of course, being sensible, is there a chance that they'll be back in Britain sometime later this year, given, like you say, all that solar activity?
Exactly. So we're heading towards this solar maximum. That's what the solar physicists call it. We don't know if we're in the solar maximum yet, or if, as some prior predictions suggested, it might happen next year. But the good news is that whatever happens, we're going to see a greatly increased frequency of these kinds of sightings. So your odds seeing it in the UK are going to continue to be high. So don't worry too much about getting an early night tonight. I'm sure you will get your chance, Matt, and I will be hoping for you.
I will hold you to that, Tom. As always, good to see you. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Matt, and good luck.